move to the second speaker, Dr. Akra Akram. She has been a speaker for many conferences, workshops at national level organized by Cape Comorin Trust. She believes in hard work and would likely to perform dynamically and challengingly for the greater good of audience. She has obtained her PhD from Lahore College for Women University, Pakistan. She has also done her MS from the same university. She has completed her BS honors from Ismania College, Copper Road, Lahore. She has a vast teaching experience. She was invited as a keynote speaker for many conferences, seminars, workshops, etc. She has number of papers, books to her credit. She is an excellent communicator and an efficient speaker. With this short introduction, may I invite Dr. Akra Akram to take over the session? Ma'am. Akra Akram, ma'am, is she here?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for such a nice introduction. I am just sharing my presentation. Is it visible to the participants?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It is visible.
Okay. Thank you so much. Today, it's Dr. Ballard just pinpoint the major aspects of the thesis writing, and that was quite comprehensive and the knowledgeable for the students who are just starting the research and just introducing them. So I will just continue and add some new points to the writing and publishing a research paper. Then most of the students who are just starting up the writing skills, the thesis writing, they are confused how we are just writing, how we can just write the research paper and how we can publish our research papers. So we will discuss it here now. So when we are just going to write up the research paper, first of all, we should have to ideally share and find and discover the new things. There should be the new improvement in the knowledge. There should be the novelty in the topic that we are just going to discuss, and the practically, that should be the practical, that should be economical, that should be the promotional in the knowledge in the field that we are in, which in the field that we are going to write up the thesis or the research or the dissertation, whatever we are just saying, we are naming that. We could name that the article or the or dissertation or the synopsis or the proposal, whatever we are just naming that. That could be proportional, promotional, or the recognition should be there, and that should be the knowledgeful and the achieving something. Whatever you are writing, whatever you are researching, that should achieve and that should add some new knowledge in the field you are researching in. So you are rated by what you are produced, not by what you attempt. You have to produce something new. Yeah, is there something issue? My voice is clear?
Yes, ma'am. Please continue. Please continue.
Please continue, ma'am.
Okay. We are talking about the research proposal. So when we have just write up, as the Dr. Ballet said, we have just decided our topic. What we are just going to do, we have we have a strong literature review on that. We have the strong evidences of what we are doing research on that. We have significance. We have the objectives, clear objectives, set objectives. We have the clear methodology. We have set the methodology, what we are going to do with the, what is the population, what is the sample, what research design we are using, what analysis we are running, how we are collecting the data, what inferences we are making. After the whole procedure, we are just heading up how we are just getting the paper published. So in that context, first of all, we have to see which type of journals are there in the relevant category we are going to publish our research paper. in the science category, in the social sciences, in the humanities. We have to find the most relevant journals in the educational context. I belong to the education subject. That's why I will talk about the education. So, in when we are talking about the education, there are too many fields related to the education. If I have write up an article on teacher education, there are many journals on education. There are many fields like curriculum development, education leadership, educational psychology. We have philosophical perspectives. We have some special education journals. So I have to find out the journal which is most relevant to the which is most relevant to my topic, which I have wrote an article. Then I have found the most relevant journal. Then I have to see how much it will cost to me. There could be some more costly journals and the free journals as well, less costly journals. That depends on the category of the journal and the ranking of the journal and the impact factor of the journal as well. That's the cost of the that determine the cost of the journal. And when I have decided, then when you have decided the publication journal, then you when you have proceeded the journal while seeing towards the criteria of the journal, you have set the journal has set criteria. Every journal has the set criteria published on the website of the journal. You have to see that the criteria, and then you have to get them or send them the article for the publication. There could be the rate of the rejection rate as well. Your article could be rejected in the journal X category journal. There is the 50% chances that your article could be rejected. In the Y category journal, they are more specific, they are more criteria oriented, they are more knowledge oriented. So there could be the 65% chances to be rejected your article. When we are when we are talking about the scientific nature journals, they are more specific, they are more value oriented, they are more specific to the criteria, they are more specific to the ethics, they are more specific to the each and every aspect of the article. So there are some 90% chances that your article is being rejected. But you have to see the set criteria of the journal to exclude that rejection chances from your research paper. So today we will talk about those chances and how we could eliminate those rejection chances from your article. So what tips you can use to neglect the rejection chances? You should have to know the journal. You should have to know the editors of the journal. You could read the you could read the editors about the editors of the journals from the journal website. Then you could follow the submission procedure of the paper. You have to submit the paper to the proper journal. Then you have to pay the close attention to the spelling, grammar, and the punctuation marks while writing the article. While you are writing the research paper, while you are writing the article for the publication, you must have to be comprehensive and accurate whatever you are reading, whatever you are writing. You have to be comprehensive. You don't have to mention a lot of things in the one article, lot of the concepts in the one article. You must have to be comprehensive. Just take one concept or the one thing that you are discussing. Make sure you are just putting each and every reference from wherever you are taking the things from where you are taking the knowledge, from where you are just taking up the things. You have to be ensure that you are mentioning the references are there. Avoid careless mistakes. Whenever we are writing, we are just neglecting the punctuation marks, or we are just mixing up the things. We are just taking up the things in too long. So just neglect those things in while writing your research article. So read and confirm. Read again and again. Revise again. when you are writing the first manuscript of your article, read it again, read it again, read it again. Then while you are reading it again and again, you are seeing your own actual mistakes that you are neglecting while writing your research article. That will eliminate the chances of the mistakes, that will reduce the rejection chances in your article publication. So there are what constitute good scientific research. Your research should have to be novel. You should have to whatever you are researching, that is there is some certain type of the certain gap in the research area you are researching, new and not resembling something formerly known or used. You have to put something new in the research area you are writing up the research. You should have to be mechanistic, testing a hypothesis. While testing a hypothesis, I must want to discuss that most of the students, what they are doing, most of the professors or the lecturers or whatever they are writing, they are just stating 8 or 9 or 10 or loads of the hypotheses that they are testing in one article, one research paper, or one thesis. So that's not the thing that you have to do. You could have the one hypothesis or the one objective in your research paper that typically that is achieved in your research paper. It's not the thing that in one experiment you have achieved the 8 objectives in the one article. That's impossible thing. Write up just one objective that should have to be achieved, that must have to be achieved through the article, that you could achieve through the experiment. So you have to be mechanistic, you have to be descriptive, you have to describe how the things have to be done, how the things are working, how you are testing the hypothesis. So while stating that, I have just the Bloom's taxonomy of the publishing. While you are writing the article for the publishing, you must have to observe the things. You must have to discover the new things in the knowledgeable environment. You could discover them through the different journals, through the scopus, through the today's era. We have lots of e-journals that we could search them. Then after observing and after recalling the information, you must have some certain understanding what you are going to observe and what you are going to describe in your further research. You must have to some summarizing and demonstrating, and some discussion with your colleagues, with your friends, with your supervisors, so you could understand the concepts more clearly. Then you should have to apply the knowledge while using the problem solving methods. You can manipulate the different things through the research, through the experiments. You could design and experiment. You could then after that, when you have completed the experiment, you have implemented the methodology, whatever methodology you are using. Then you have to identify and analyze the patterns you have identified through your experiments. You have to organize the data. You have to recognize the different trends you have achieved. Then you have to use old concepts to create new ideas, design, invent, compose, and you have to imagine in infer. You have to find out the conclusion what you have inferred from your research, from your experiment, from your data collection, from the analysis. So after that, when you have collected the data, you have experimented the things, you have collected the data, you have analyzed the results, you have the conclusions. Then at the last, from the conclusions, we have to infer that what comparison of the ideas we are having at the last, what theories we are assessing, what recommendations do we have, and what we have judged through the whole procedure. So it's the whole Bloom's taxonomy that we are having while writing our research article. So what the advice we are having through the Elsevier, we should have to find out the right journal for the for our article, for our research paper. Don't descend the stairs. First of all, you have to find the top journals from the nature, sciences, education, whatever field you are having. Then go to the more specific ones, more specific top journals according to your specific field. As I mentioned that in the education, find out the top journals in the education subjects. Then go to the specific subject that is the teacher education. Go to the teacher education and find out the top journals of the teacher education. Then go to the other specific field journals. Then go to the national journals, find out the national journals and the international journals and classify them and make the tables of them, and find out that which category of their which categories they are containing, which what is the impact factor of them. Then see that which is the most better journal for your research paper. Then what constitutes a good journal? The qualities of a good journal are the impact factor they are having, the immediacy index, index, lead time or incubation time, and the ISN and the ISBN number. So you have to keep in mind these all four constituents of the journal. Must see them the average number of the times published paper and cite it up to or years after publication is constitutes the impact factor of the journal. So what immediacy index? Immediacy index is the average number of the time published papers are cited during year of the publication. Then we are having the lead time or incubation time. Incubation time is average time the journal is taking for a paper from receipt to the publication. Then we are having the ISSN and the ISBN number. It is presenting the international standard serial number or the book number or the meaning recognized in the through the Scoopers or the AGRS, which are indexing the journals. So you could see that if we are having the journals, we are having the impact factor like this, we are having the immediacy index like this. You can see them on the journal's website, see them and evaluate them and analyze them. Which journal is better for your research article? So most relevant journal and the most high impact factor journals are the most best journals for your research article publications. So what things you have to consider before writing? Before writing, you have to see that what in advancements you are going to be made, what what you are going to hypothesize the things, and how you are experimenting the things to hypothesize. How you can control the experimental situation. How you can describe the study in 1 or 2 minutes. Your study have to be comprehensive, enough comprehensive that you can describe your whole study in 1 or 2 minutes, and you have to you must have written 1 or 2 sentences that immediately convey the key message of your whole research. So the things that we are going to discuss, you should have to be write up your paper, time to write up your paper. First of all, you have to be sufficient enough. You have to be habitual to write up the things. You must have some significant time. You must have specified the time that in that specific time I will have to sit up and to think and to write up the things. And formally, one day, second day, third day, fourth day, gradually you will have the habit to sit and to write the article and to write some 1 or 2 sentences or 3 sentences. Gradually it will increase with the passage of the time. So after that, you must have to write up the table and the figures. When you have advanced the research, you have new idea. You have stated the hypothesis. You have tested the hypothesis. You have the appropriate control over your experimental experiment. You have the significance, 1 or 2 minute significance in your research. Then you have to be concise. You have to be clear what you are going to do. You have to be self-explanatory what you are going to do. Then you must have the good references what you are just explaining the things. With help of choosing the journal, better insight into the possible reviewers. While the journals are rejecting the things, they are just getting the proofs that what proof you are having the your research is the significant hypothetical uh, um, uh, frameworks, hypothetical some grounds. So for that we must have some significant references there. So the things we are just forgetting is choosing the journal that we have discussed that in the meanwhile we are selecting the journals. The journals are having some instructions for the authors. Must read that authors they are just specifying the things that how long you have to write the introduction, your how much lengthy your literature review have to be, how many words you can use in your research journal, how which criteria you must have to be write up the things. If so, which manual you have to follow for the citations. They are all having the criteria, set criteria for the authors in the journal website. So think about the possible reviewers, which type of mistakes they could have from your research article. So think about them, review your article, and read it again and again, revise it again, proofread your article, proofread it through others as well. So it will increase the quality of your article. So must have read the impact factor of the journal as well. So at the last, you must have to be summarize the whole whole research, what you have done, what you have warrant your publication, what is the scope and aim of the journal, and what definition of your research journal and the definition of your article which you are going to publish on through which you are going to publish is just accumulate each other. So while writing the manuscript, you must have to when we are just writing the article, we just having a kickstart. Then when we have just started, we are just enthusiastic about the research. Then we have different journals, like we are having the letters to the editors, we are having the science and technology articles, we are having the short communications, technical notes or case study, original paper, research paper journals, we are having the overview or opinion brief notes, we are having the monographs and the books, we are having the online journals and the paper articles, we are having the review opinions, we are having the STP papers, theme papers in the special issues. So whether when we are talking about the parts of the original research paper, we are having the first of all we are having the title, then we are having the abstract. In the last of the abstract, we just write up the keywords we are using in the whole research paper. Then we write up the introduction. After the introduction, we just have the little literature review there. After that, we have mentioned the research methodology. Then we write up the results, discussion, and then we go to the acknowledgements and the references. Sometimes we just write up the acknowledgement in the start, after the abstract, after the title, and then we start other parts. So write in what order? Write up the title. Your title should have to be specific. Try that your title should contain only 12 words, not exceeding that. That will lead to the some time of the ambiguity there. The reader must have to be read when the reader read your article. they must have to be perceived that what you are going to research, that must create some understanding to for the readers. The your title should contain your variables as well, your independent or dependent variable, whatever number of variables you are using, they must have to be described in your title. Your title must have to be describe what you are going to do, what you are going to achieve in your research. What is the theoretical consideration? The theoretical consideration is that you must sometimes you need this section build a theory or build a theory, or you are referring some time of the theory, or you sometimes you are just analyzing some pre-established theories, or sometimes you are evaluating the pre-established theories, or you are establishing a new theory for from the grounded research theory, or some you can give some relevant formulas, you can give some relevant equations with symbol defined, you can have them number them all in sequence, you have to discuss the parameters to be evaluated, you just have to justify your choices, you should have to be precede your experimental details or the method sections. So after that, what the materials and the methods you are going to use, you have to stated the title of the research, you have the enough theoretical framework for your research, you have uh, someone is talking. So you have some sufficient theoretical framework grounds. So on that grounds, you have to build up the methodology, what research design you are going to do, what research design you are going to use, which population, what is your population, what is the sample of your research, what type of the instrument you are going to use, your instrument is the adapted or the adopted. The most of the students are confusion have the confusion in the adoption and the adaptation. Adoption is something that you are having the instrument, and you don't have to change the things. You can you can change the things. You are using the instrument as it is in your research is the adoption. When you are using the instrument according to the needs of your research and you are refining them according to your research, you are adding or removing some type of the things in the instrument, is called the adoption of the instrument. So I want to I just discussed that for the knowledge of the students. So the what method you are using should be detailed enough so research can be reproduced by the others. References published method where appropriate include regulated use approval information like toxic sentences, use descriptive subtitles. You should have to be synthesized, the material characterization and the static materials. So after that, when you are just mentioning the results, your result should contain the must contain the images or the equations with continuity can increase the effectiveness of of your research. Your research should contain the tables and the figures that could lead you towards the conciseness of your research, and that could straightforward for the reader of your research. That could be straightforward so the reader could more specifically read and understand your research paper. So present main findings, referring prefer to write up the main findings instead of all your findings you have in your research dissertation. You must have to be concise that what variables you are mentioning in your title should have relevant to the title of the research article. You should have some relevant findings to the title. Do not repeat results in the paper, but they must be repeatable and reproducible for others as well. So you must have some statistical details as well in your research paper. So while stating that, you should have some theoretical framework. For that theoretical framework, you are just starting up your research paper with the introduction of your research independent and the dependent variables, and the variables you are using, you are just demonstrating or describing in your research. You just started up, you just build up the case. Why a study is important, why the study is necessary, what is the significance of your research, what is the problem statement of your research. You should have to provide the brief background of the research. You should have to state the hypothesis and the central questions or the themes you are having. Your research introduction should have to be in a paragraph. What the investigation purpose do you have? What is the main objective of your research article? Try to write up the research objectives in the bullets. So the research article reader should have the clear idea what the research is going to investigate, what the problem is going to investigate through this article. So after that, after investigating the research area, we have in the last we are having some sort of the discussion. We are just answering questions. We are pausing in the introduction. We discuss the possible mechanism. We discuss the weaknesses and the discrepancies we have seen through the whole methodology, through the inquiry method or whatever method we are using. We are collecting the data and we are analyzing the data, and we are interpreting the results, we are inferencing the results. We through the whole that procedure, we have seen some weaknesses and the discrepancies that we are going to mention in the discussion. We are explaining in the discussion area. We are explaining what is new without exaggeration. We just mentioned the we don't have to repeat and the discussion and speculate too much. So after that, we mentioned the summary and the conclusions. So in the summary and the conclusions, we just write up the perspectives for the implications, what the further research is going to implement in the what the research is going to add up in the new era, what the research is going to constituent in the knowledge of the new era, in the knowledge of that particular area, what the suggestions the research problem are having for the new researchers, what the new researchers are going to use the things for the future works. So after that, your references should have to be relevant. Your research references should have to be selective and based, should have to be credible, should have to be read before referring. You should have to read your references before you are referring them in your research. That should not have to be too old. You should have to be add up the newest research references. You should have to be add up the newest researches in your research article. That will provide you the authentic framework for your research paper. So use the correct style and the format for the journal. Whatever the journal you are going to publish, the journal has a set criteria. You should have to. They are having the APA 7 or APA 6. They have just mentioned on the website of the journal. So go there and see that what the style they are following. So cite the patent carefully, not misquote the IP address. So after writing these all, we have just mentioned the abstract. In the abstract, we have the critical part of the paper. We just state the 1 or 2 lines introduction, most probably, most comprehensively. Then we just state that state our main objective, not all the objectives, just the main objective of our research. Then we summarize the most important results and the methodology in the abstract. in 2 or 3 lines. Then we state the major conclusion and the significance. We You should have to avoid the acronyms in the abstract. Write and rewrite until flawless. You have to write, you have to read and read again and again your abstract till you have achieved the your till you have achieved the perfection in your abstract. So provide the right keywords for indexing. So while talking about these all things, we just come up with the title again. While writing the title, you should have to determine whether the paper gets read. You are writing your whole article, you have achieved the whole title you have mentioned there. While stating the objectives, when we are writing a research a paper, we have write up the title. After that we have write it up your objectives. After that, when we comes to the methodology, sometimes we just miss some of the variables or some of the objectives that we have missed in our research methodology. So review your article that you have achieved all the objectives of your research title and the research objectives that you have mentioned there. So avoid the long titles that will make the that will lead to the ambiguity of the research, and that will lead to the complexity, and some these issues will be there. So avoid too long title. So avoid the abbreviations you are using. Write the whole words, whole sentence you are using there in the title. So what the title format is: the effect of the heat on ice, heat melts ice, the role of heat in melting ice, the effect of the leadership styles of the principals on the performance of the teachers at the high level. You could have, while we are talking about the education sector, we could have the title like evaluating the B.Ed elementary teacher education programs offered through the distance and regular universities through SIB model. So it is giving the clear picture what the research is going to do, what the research is going to evaluate. So at the end, we acknowledge who are granting the funds. We are going to acknowledge the people who read the paper or contribute to discussions, or contribute the ideas, or people who gave the tools or the props or the technical and the sequential assistance to you. Then I have some. You have to, as I talked earlier, again and again. I am talking again, that you have to revise, and revise your research article. Whenever you are revising your research article, you must have 2 or 3 mistakes in them. You must have seen some sort of the mistakes you are revising while you are revising your research paper. It will synthesize your research paper and help you uh, to uh, to comprehend your research, and to clarify your research, and to make your research towards the perfection. All the authors should have participants, not only one. You should have some only one corresponding author. You should have to read about the review order of the data presentation. You should have to polish the writing style. You should have to double check the references you have mentioned there. You have to look for the types. You should have to double check the spellings you are using in your research. So while developing a research good writing style. So while writing the research paper, you must have a uh, good number of articles you have read on the problem you are going to investigate. You must have to you must have a lot of reading on that article, on that problem. You must have to try to get some writers or the reviewers. You must have to avoid some plagiarism. You can avoid most of the students you who are in the research. They are just going to use some plagiarism softwares to plagiarize the research papers. So that's wrong. That will immediately totally change the meaning of your research. That reduce the plagiarism of your that is reducing the plagiarism of your research, but that is immediately changing the whole meaning of your research as well. So that will let you towards a totally wrong thing. So avoid the plagiarism software as well. So avoid to copy the thing, and do you should have some you should have the proper formatting of the research paper. You should have some proper editing and the correcting symbols. You should have you should have to proofread the whole article to avoid the editing mistakes as well. So self-plagiarism from copying, I have just discussed that in an unexpected development today, Doris Kendall Goodwin plagiarized herself. So we all could have plagiarized our research paper through rephrasing them. We should have to rephrase them. We should have to read 2 or 3 lines, understand them, understand the concepts what they are going to indulge, what they are going to deliver you. Just read them, take the concept, write it in your own words. That will reduce the plagiarism of your research paper. But the journal paper formats, I will not discuss it here. I have discussed it before. When you have I have too many slides, that's why I am just neglecting them. So while we have just write the whole article and we are going to submit our research paper, when we are submitting the research paper, we must have to check the website of the research paper and read the research instructions that the research journal is mentioned for the research authors. Read the instructions carefully, fill out the all necessary forms, copyright transfers, whatever the conflict of interest you are having. If you are having the conflict of the interest, you must have to check some other type of the journals of your interest. Then you could contact to the editor as well. While covering letter, you must have some suggestions for the reviewers. If you have, you must have some confirmed receipts for the follow-up communication and the acknowledgement. So, what is the process of the research paper? You must have to complete the research paper. Then you have to prepare the manuscript. You have to prepare the submission of the manuscript. You must have some assignments and the review and the discussions. You must have some. You come to the decision, rejection, and the acceptance of your research from the reviewers. When you are having the suggestions from the reviewers, review them, read them carefully, read what they are expecting from you, what they are just asking from you. Be specific while talking to them, while delivering, while replying them, while giving them the answers to your questions, to the questions they are having. Then resubmit your research article. Then most probably your research paper will be accepted and published in the journal. So while you are responding to the reviewers, you must have to be careful while you are responding, while you are just writing the responses for the reviewers. You must have to change the stated highlighted areas that the reviewers highlighted for your research paper, from your research paper. You must have to be reviewer may be wrong. Must, if the reviewer is wrong, give them the authentic reasons, give them the authentic background, give them the authentic reasons why you are going to do this, why they have to accept this. Give them the authentic background, give them the authentic reasons. Be tactful. Thank the reviewers as well. Do not respond to the reviewers while upset. Can't help from others. When we are upset, we are having some lots of troubles in our life, and we are having some lots of troubles in our professional lives. While having them, we are just upset and having lots of things in our mind. So on that time we are just unable to think that what the reviewer is going to do. We are just thinking he is foolish, what he is going to set me. So avoid that time for the for writing the responses for the reviewers. So address the correction to the chief editor as well. So typical reports that we are having is we are having the thesis dissertations, we are having the funded projects, we are having the documentaries, we are having the consultancy project reports, we are having the interim reports, PG or UG project reports, we are having the mini project reports, we are having the case studies and the feasibility reports as well. So how you could search journals for your relevant research area. You could go to the AGRS, you could go to the Scopus journals, Scopus engines, you could go to the RSC journals, you could go to the Springer links, you could go to the Science Directs. There are lots of the journals that you could see there. Just write up the title of your research area and write up the journal. So you could have the list of the journals there. Then after that, as a journal principle, a single metric such as the age index should be academic rank jobs. Research applicants must because research performance is multifaceted. So I have highlighted all the I just try to highlight all the issues and the problems that we are having while writing the research and the publishing the research. I tried my best. If someone have any question, you are most welcome to ask any question if you are having. Thank you so much for giving me the chance to speak here.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you for your enlightening speech. We'll wait for queries. Dear participants, any queries?
Good evening, ma'am.
Madam,
Yeah. See, if an article of a research paper to a journal, if it is rejected once, how many chances are there for us for correction and resubmission? Is it only one chance?
Yeah, it depends on the journal type, which journal you are going to publish. If the journal have the set criteria that you can resubmit your article once or twice, then you could you should have to follow them. So when you are resubmitting your research article, you must have seen that on which basis they have rejected your research paper. Work on them, revise them, and make sure that you have eliminated all those things that led you towards the rejection. So if you have removed all those things, you have achieved your objectives, you have worked on your all the hypotheses you have stated, you have the clear methodology, you have the clear findings, then I don't think so your article will be rejected. So make sure that your article must have some theoretical and the sound background that we have neglected in our most of the researches. So best of luck for your article, but be sure that when you are resubmitting your research paper, you must have worked on the areas that make the grounds that for the rejection.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
good evening, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
good evening.
mine is, I just want to know whether there is any difference in scientific writing of research between humanitarians and life sciences, ma'am. I could get some clarity of the orders and something. Can you sum up in a just, ma'am?
Exactly. There is a lot of the difference that is persist in the methodology of the scientific research and the research methodology of the humanities and the social sciences research. In the most of the humanities and the social sciences research, we are just using the grounded theories and the survey researches and the Likert scale researches and some sort of the correlation researches. But while we are doing the scientific researches, we are just more focusing on the experiments that we are going to the research. We are having the controlled situation, we are having the controlled things, all the things in the control, in our control, in the controlled situation. We are experimenting the things, we are manipulating the things, we are just we have the controlled extraneous variables in our research. So when we are doing the same thing in the humanities and the social sciences research, we are, when we are doing some sort of the experiments, we are having the humans as our participants. So there we are having the lots of the things that as the extraneous variables. While we are having the maturation, we are having the testing, we are having the growth and development issues, we are having the parental issues, we are having their background, we are having their societies. There are lots of the things that are there for to control as the extraneous variables. So there are some sort lot of the difference that we are just going researching in the scientific research and the research we are doing in the social sciences and the humanities. So some sort of the methodology is also there, difference of the methodology is also there while stating the research paper in both fields.
Thank you so
So
much, ma'am.
comprehensively, I could just explain this. If my answer is not comprehensive for you, I will explain it again.
Thank you, ma'am. It's enough for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other queries? Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. I think ma'am has
Thank you.
touched each and every nook and corner of our topic.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
ma'am.
you so much for inviting me here. Thank you so much, Dr. Mutmaina, for inviting me here and giving me chance to share my knowledge and experiences here. Thank you so much.